Okay, hopefully the microphone is working now. As I was saying, today we're not gonna build anything. We're just gonna have a chat. I'm eating my lunch. Um, how do I ban people? Let me see. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna ban anybody. Y'all can hang out. I don't care. But I'm not in the mood to do anything today, so I'm just gonna watch some. We're just gonna chat. Just ask me whatever you want. Like, I'll answer it. I was on a podcast recently with my good friend Mike Bird. Let me send that to you guys in the chat. So we talked about pretty much everything that you heard of online, like MCP, agent stuff like that, and yeah, I'm just like in the same spot talking about it, and I remember being so sleep deprived, just zoning out, but it turns out to be a pretty good conversation. I think that would be useful if I send it to you guys. So AI tool use. So Mike Burt used to work at this company called Open Interpreter, and it used to be one of the most popular open source projects started in Seattle. And it was supposed to be like cloud code essentially. You're supposed to be able to control your computer and do all sorts of things with it, but something happened to the team. I don't know what happened, but apparently they didn't work out. So Mike is off doing something else, much more fun. But I want to send you the podcast that I was on. Tool use. Probably just type in my name. There we go. Posted 5 hours ago. Okay, so you guys can watch this before it blows up. Yeah. But yeah, right now I'm just watching like some YouTube video about building custom PCs. Guess I don't feel like doing anything today. I think I was muted before, but I was saying that me being able to admit that I don't feel like doing it today is actually something new. Before I would just suck it up and like, do something, and then that will probably affect me later on in the week in some way that I'm not aware of. But yeah, lately I've been kind of just being pretty upfront with how I feel about when talking to people and stuff like that, and I find it to be very refreshing. Yeah. So if you have any tips for building custom PCs, let me know. I'm trying to essentially put together like a rig that can play Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K, maybe with DLSS. But yeah. Also, let me know what happened on the weekends. How was your weekend? Everybody tell me in the chat. Do, 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 do. Thank you. Thank you for not acknowledging my new haircut. I am grateful. Do I know you in real life? I wonder. Let me go check out your profile here. Who are you? Could never tell. But thank you. Yeah. I guess we talk about like where I got my haircut. I live near Chinatown, and there was a time when, so I haven't had a proper haircut for like 4 years now. I always grow it out, and then I have a clipper, and I would just buzz myself, and basically shave myself, when it gets too long, and like too much in my face. So this year I wanted to get a proper haircut. So I went to like a party or something once, and then two people were recommending two different places to me. And I was specifically looking for a place that was run by Asian people because Asian people know how to cut hair better than Asian people know how to cut Asian people hair. So I got this place and I went to it. It's like it's almost like it looks sketchy on the outside unless you come from a third world country like I did. Then it just looks like somebody's home. And I walk up to the salon. It's like on the second floor. The stairs are very narrow. I go inside and it's literally like a warehouse, a small warehouse. There's like some seating on one side and then like some chairs and stuff on the other side. It's bright in there, but it's just like very messy. And before the appointment, like they told me to come in. So the appointment was like 4 p.m. and then at 3 p.m. I got a text from like this unknown number, and then they told me to show up like right now. I'm like I'm in the mood of like being generous and grateful for like everything in life. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just roll with it. So like, sure, I'll pull up like 15 minutes. Can you wait for 15 minutes? And they're like, sure, as if like as if I didn't just make the appointment like an hour earlier than it's supposed to be. So I walked over because it's very close to where I live, and I didn't want to. At first I was like, can I show you like the haircut that I had like from like I don't know 8 years ago, and then I ended up not doing that, but instead I just asked the stylist. I was like, hey, what do you think would look good on my head? And then she showed me like this almost like Chinese pop idol picture from like 2002, because that was probably her era. I guess to her it's like hot. So she showed it to me. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of like when I was very little, and then I would see people having this kind of hairstyle, walking around, and they were supposed to be cool. Obviously, it's not cool anymore. In 2025. So I was like, yeah, maybe something less K-poppy. And I think she showed me another. I think we talked a little bit, and then kind of came to this solution where like we would cut. Rennis is here. What's up, Rennis? I'm just not talking about AI at all today. So we came to the solution where we would cut my sides very short, and then leave some room on the top so it can grow out. And I think sometimes when my hair is wet, I get that look and I'm like, I kind of like this, but I don't know I don't know how to cut my own hair. So we had a haircut. And I say I had a haircut, and we have a little conversation. Just like trying to not make it awkward and shit. And turns out she speaks 6 languages. Used to live in Vietnam, but it's actually Chinese. What else can I remember? And they went to her and her friends who were also in the salon. They were working there for like 20 years, which is great because they know what they're doing. It made me feel better when I heard it. I'm like, oh, like they've been doing this for a while. And they told me that they went to Japan, and I've always wanted to go to Japan. This has been a long time dream since I was very little. I think I went to Singapore once, and I'm like, why is the streets here so clean? I would love to live here. I mean, in my mind, Japan is probably the same, almost magical. And they were telling me about how, you know how like people from like different generations, so for her, she went on a cruise ship to go to Japan. So when I asked her like what restaurants to go to, blah, 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 she didn't have a good answer because probably she had like a all-in-one, kind of all inclusive like tour booked for herself and her family. But the other lady was very chatty. She was like, gotta go to Mount Fuji, do all these adventures. And then she tried to upsell me like a little hair wax thing. So I bought it up. Yeah. ATH says, I'm a fan of from the web scraping AI with AI video. Thank you. Appreciate it. I feel like most people came from that video. I worked with Alignment Lab, the people who did Mike Bird's podcast last week. Nice. I haven't been keeping up with the other episodes. Let me go check that out. If you want, I feel like we should totally connect on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I'm just this is my name. Just send me a request. I would love to get connected, and let me know where you're based out of as well. Oh, Guangzhou, nice. For a year, and then live in Rochester, New York City now. Nice. Oh, hello, Mike. Welcome back. So I guess when I go to New York State, I'll probably hit you up. Be like, yo, like, want to pull up to like Brooklyn or something, like hang out. What's up, Mike? Today I don't feel like coding anything. I came on stream even though I wasn't gonna stream anything today. I'm like, I'm not in the mood to build anything today. But here I am, and I'm eating my lunch, and just talking to you guys. I'm not actually doing anything right now. So yeah, add me on LinkedIn, ATH. And welcome back, Mike. Doing pretty good. I had a decent amount of sleep last night. I missed 2 days streaming, I think. I missed Sunday because I was out bowling and went to like a farmer's market or some I don't remember. But it was fun. Like, it was fun catching up with my friends, and sometimes I need to force myself to do random things, and once I do those things, I really enjoy them. Everybody's like commenting on my hair. Like, have you guys been watching? Because I don't know how many people watch these streams, to be honest. But I did have a haircut. Yeah, thank you. You're like the third person who said this today. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, bro. What do you mean, what makes it? I just told my hairstylist to not make it K-pop, and she made this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, your chair. I thought you said my hair. My chair? This is a padding that I bought from Amazon. The chair is just one of those chairs on Amazon that you can get for like, I think $200, $300. It's one of those like office chairs. It's not mesh though. It's mesh on the back, so it's breathable, but the bottom is padded. Um, I think at this point in my life, I feel like I want to get like a proper chair, like a Harmon Miller or something, because I wanna treat myself better. What's Tuesday's plan? Honestly, to not do anything self-destructive this week. Um, I've been doing certain self-destructive stuff in the past couple of days that I kind of regret. So today I'm just gonna keep my head straight. I'm actually feeling like working, but like I have a long to-do list, guys. Like a long to-do list. Um, but and I'm moving by the end of the week. So I think starting Sunday. I guess Sunday you won't. Yeah. Who says stanky? Uh, well, that's so out of context. But on Sunday, what you I won't be streaming because I won't have Wi-Fi at my new place. But what's gonna happen is Monday you'll see my new place. Maybe so I don't have other furnitures, but I'll have my desk, and then everything else behind me is gonna be empty. So that's gonna be great. Um, yeah. So seeing a lot of new people here. So like, you guys wanna like tell me where you guys are, are watching from and all that? Did somebody like rate my stream or something? Like, there's so many new people here, which is cool. Like, I enjoy it. Why shifting any occasion? Um, my whole life I've been running away. My whole life, whenever I have something that I feel uncomfortable with, I would just pack up and move. And I was hoping to move to a different country by now, because I feel like I was missing out every time I go to SF or New York or anywhere. I feel like I'm not part of the conversation that I'm supposed to be in. But something happened, and I thought to myself, like, maybe for once, let me take the first step towards planning something long term, setting up roots somewhere, because I have a community here, and I want to know what it's like to stick to something for a little bit longer than my usual timeline. So I just, instead of moving to a new city or new country and start over, which is very exciting, I moved down the street. So my new place is like about a 20-minute walk away from my old place. It's a nicer built place. It's closer to like parks and stuff like that. I think I'm really excited to move there because there's just so many good things about this new neighborhood. And sometimes in my life I just feel like I don't focus on the good stuff and always focus on the stuff that aren't, working out. And then I try to fix them. But there are a lot of good things that are happening in my life. And I just don't want one thing or anything to kind of derail all that. But yeah, long story short, I'm moving down the street. It's not too far away. My thoughts on the AI bubble. Oh, first we have to define what we mean by AI bubble. Oh my god. First we have to define what we mean by AI bubble. Is it a bubble? or is it real value? I mean, let's define what a bubble is first. What is a bubble? It's when the valuation of things are way too much higher than what they're actually value at, right? Well, they should be value at. Like the housing market, 2008, or maybe GameStop stocks and like these meme stocks. Are AI companies' valuation too high? Probably. But too high compared to what? Because we don't see the future, right? It could go either way. It could either be this is the highest it'll ever be, or this is the lowest it'll ever be again. Because we don't know the impact of all these AI stuff yet. Because we're still we're in the present, so we don't know if a year from now, it's like investing in Bitcoin. Like if 2016 is like what, $20,000-$30,000 or something, and people will like bubble, but now it's like $100,000. So we're like, was it a bubble back then, or was it the lowest it's ever been? Yeah. So think about it like that. I'd say when you say bubble, I guess another thing that came to my mind, which is we are in a bubble in terms of like when we talk to people outside of our community, like nobody gives a shit about like the new Gemini 2.5 Flash that does image. And I find that to be so true. Like I live in a government town and nobody gives a fuck. Nobody. They're very happy with where they are. And try talking to them about AI and it'll just ruin the whole conversation. Try talking to them about AI and they'll talk about like how they're using ChatGPT to come up with something to make to cook at night or something. I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike says it's still undervalued. Yeah, it's like are robotics companies overvalued? I don't know. We don't know the impact of these things yet. I mean, we can forecast it. That's what the job of economist would be, right? But as an econ major, you know, we know for a fact that economics is the shit made up. It's a very young, it's a very young field as well. It's like economics is not an old field. It's very young. So. But speaking of AI, I had a thought last night about AI therapy. Because I'm like, I kind of want to get back into therapy, and then, because I have some like new stuff that I want to learn about, but they're very, very expensive. So I thought to myself, there's gotta be like an open source AI kind of application, agentic application that does like therapy and stuff like that. If you know one, let me know in the chat. But in my head, I'm thinking, first thing when you onboard a client as an AI therapist, just deep research the client. You know, go scrape their LinkedIn, their Facebook, whatever. Build a mental model of who they are. And then do retrieval in different parts of the conversation, so you always have the right kind of frame. But yeah. Anyways. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat. That's just my opinion. There are 8 people watching this right now on a Tuesday morning. I think this is the most number of people watching without me promoting this. But yeah, I'm down to talk about anything really. Or maybe you're using this as like some sort of AI ASMR. Maybe this is comforting to you to listen to this dude talking about his haircut and AI. I think friendship is very important in life. Alright, somebody's asking AI stuff, so I'm just gonna talk about AI stuff. Talking to most people about AI is like showing an indigenous tribe a magazine for the first time. The thing is, mainstream. If you're looking for a fulfilling kind of valuable conversation, yeah, talking to the mainstream folks is probably not where it's supposed to be. You're gonna be in the position where you give more than you can take. But there's an upside to that, which is that sometimes they will buy your stuff. You know, when you talk to somebody who have no idea. If you like over the years, I made it a point to once in a while check in with myself. Actually, no, I lied. My ideal version of myself teaching is when I have a lot of patience to teach people and talking to people who have no idea what I'm talking about, and be patient enough to explain things to them and talk to them in a way that is not patronizing and all that. Because, you know, maybe I have had experience in the past where maybe I don't know something and somebody's explaining it to me in a very patronizing way. I tried in the beginning. There would be like phases in my teaching career where I'm like very aware of that and I do a pretty good job. And then there would be times, most of the times, I don't say most of the time, but a lot of times, I would just try to get through the day. And I get frustrated when somebody doesn't know what I know. And I think just recently I realized that nobody can read your mind. Like you gotta communicate. Yeah. So I think for me to have a conversation with somebody who I have no idea and I get nothing from them, I get frustrated pretty quickly. Where it's like, I'm just here telling you everything I know and like, I'm getting nothing out of this. But that's kind of life, right? Like, you can't really min-max everything in life. A lot of times you just have to give and then expect nothing back. You just have to believe that by the end it's gonna all work out. You know, go to a conference and nobody knows what you're talking about, so all of a sudden you are the expert. I used to hate that term. Like when I walk into a room and somebody point at me and be like, "You are the expert," I feel both. I feel like an imposter, and also I felt like I should put myself in a different room. Because, you know, like there are quotes that are like, oh, if you're if you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. Those things just keep like banging in my head like every day, you know what I mean? And I try to put myself in situations where I'm like very uncomfortable and to learn and to grow and stuff like that. But once in a while, I'll be in a room where I'm like, oh, nobody here knows jack shit. I guess I am the expert. And I feel very uncomfortable. Yeah, maybe some deeper issues, but like every time somebody make an intro of me using the profile that I wrote, I cringe a little bit because there's all these labels that I put on me, right? And I don't know how to take recognition and compliments. Yeah. So you can compliment my chair, I'll be perfectly fine. But if you compliment my hair, I'll have a problem with that. But yeah. Mike says, super cool. I can imagine when you reach 100K, a million subscribers, and look back to the journey. Here's a fun thing, Mike. I'm doing this in a really weird way where I have no goals. I'm just like, as long as I enjoy hopping on the stream, I'll do it. And if it gets to like 500k, 100k, a million subscribers, it's the byproduct of me enjoying this. If I'm at a million subscribers and I hate doing this, I don't know if that'll be what I want. But at least for now, maybe I'll change in the future. Money change people. Money and fame change people. So, but for now, like I really enjoy being surprised by how much people care about this stuff. Because my expectation was that I'm gonna hop on here. There's gonna be two people watching. It's gonna be some random dude from East Asia, and probably my ex would pop in here and there, and that would ruin my day. But I was still like hanging out. But it turns out a bunch of people are here, so like we're chilling, we're chilling. Tenet says for a mechanical engineer in NVH engineering. I'm trying to think what that is. What is NVH? Actually, I don't know. My brain is slow today. Is there any AI tool to learn and get certified? I have to look up what NVH is. NVH. Noise, vibration, and harshness. That's cool. I learned something new today. Also known as noise and vibration, abbreviated to NVH and NNV respectively, is the name given to the field of measuring and modifying the noise and vibration characteristics of vehicles, particularly cars and trucks. Ooh, that's cool. Is there any AI tool to learn and get certified? I don't know of any of that, but I know one company is building in the mechanical engineering space with AI stuff. It's a company that I used to work at. It's called Colab Software. Look it up. It's actually a pretty cool company. Colab Software. It's a YC company based in Canada. Yeah. Can't speak too much to it because I haven't been honestly kept in touch with I have not kept in touch with anybody from there. But they do, like, essentially the problem statement for them is that design review takes like weeks sending back and forth PDFs and Excel files. You can use this tool to aggregate all that stuff in one place. You have a 3D viewer, you can mark and pin 3D models, spin it around, leave comments, kind of like Google Docs. It does design reviews, and the AI does like automated design reviews now. It helps you do like VAVE events. I don't know why I know all these terms from like mechanical engineering, but I personally have never really enjoyed. I didn't care. Yeah. Is it cool? Sure, it's cool. Was I born to always wanted to work on software to sell to John Deere? No. Unfortunately. I'm a horrible employee, that's why I'm doing this. Instead of being at a job somewhere. Do you think there's a blue ocean opportunity when it comes to including as the silent majority, the people who don't contribute to the conversation on the internet? Are we talking about like your friends who, like, when you talk to them about this stuff, don't really give a shit? Or are you talking about like normal people, essentially people who are not on Reddit? That's what you're talking about. I don't know if they'll be informed enough to be included. But I'm trying to understand like the context of the question there. A blue ocean opportunity, which means a brand new opportunity never tapped in before when it comes to including the silent majority. in this day and age, if somebody is not online and like looking at these things like open source models and agent frameworks and stuff like that, I think they'll, unless they are exceptional outside, in their own field, maybe they're a doctor, maybe they're like a lawyer, somebody, absolutely, because the thinking framework is going to be top notch. But if they work in tech and they're not part of these conversations, I would be very hesitant to even like hire them for anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they are informed enough, and I think it's that's like a red flag. You work in tech, and if you don't care about these things, what do? You're not in it for the curiosity then. What could you be more curious about nowadays? I do know though. I know that do know a few folks who are a little bit older. Every city has like a tech meetup, kind of like not tech meetup, but like tech Slack group, and in those Slack groups, there's always some folks who are older who are like talking shit about AI and all that, and they're always so loud. In every city, like without a doubt, there just be some folks who are very cranky, and I guess they are not the silent majority. Then they're like the loud minority. But the people who don't participate in like online conversations, like usually go grab coffee with them. I know a few of them. They're usually pretty busy with their real life, so like maybe they're very active or they have like a lot of the commitments outside of like their job or whatever. Those people are usually cool actually because they don't get affected by like these online things. That is just noise to them, right? So what I want to say is, those folks are usually cool. Like the majority of people out there, most of the world is online, but not to the extent that we are. The majority of the world is cool. It's always like the loud minority in any community that is problematic. And people who are not perpetually online are usually in their own little bubbles as well. This could be like the WhatsApp group, iMessage groups, stuff like that. Yeah. What stops the silent majority from posting, contributing to the conversation online? I can tell you about my experience. It's usually like some sort of preconception about a certain space that makes people think that they don't want to be there. For example, I was not on X for a long time, like until like recently when I'm like friends with people who are on X constantly tweeting stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I guess I do see myself like with one of these people. So I'm like, okay, let me go on there and try it. But before I just viewed Twitter as something that's very like annoying. Like I always see like reposts of like tweets that are problematic. So I'm like, polarizing. So I'm like, it's not for me. So maybe these people they would see or hear something about certain groups and yeah, and then they don't participate because they have a certain preconception about those groups. So you might be going to a function and you might be talking somebody's ears off about AI, which might turn them off from like even exploring the space altogether. So it's all about like people just don't care until it affects them. I didn't care about X until I'm thinking about growing like a presence and try to connect with other people in the field. So before that, I didn't have a need to, so I never bothered. Colab is in Binzai engagement system. That is as much as I know about mechanical engineering. I don't know much more on that. Okay, sweet. I wonder if you guys can throw at me some ideas of what to build in the next few weeks. Because I'm itching to build some new open source projects. Something useful to you guys. Oh yeah, you put together a new Streamlit app. Tell me about it. What does it actually do? For people who are trying to grow their YouTube channel. So you mean like for me? What does it actually do? Give me the sales pitch. Sell me this pen. Tell me why I should try your app. Side note, later today I'm going on a photography walk downtown. I found like this guy on Reddit and he was like taking photos. So I'm a Fujifilm user and there's a subreddit for Fujifilm users. And I found this guy's photos and they look like they're from around Ottawa, which is where I'm living. And I'm like, yo, like this guy like in my city. So I hit him up and then he sent me this like community for like photography stuff and I'm like, oh shit. I'm gonna have to try that out. So they have an event later today. Which I'll go to and take some photos. There are two sides to me. There's the side that's like just wanna like lock in and get as productive as possible and go really far and lead teams and all that stuff. And then there's the other part of me that's just like I just wanna make some art, take some photographs, make enough money to live somewhere, be part of a community, and feel safe. And, you know, all that, so. And those two parts always fucking find each other. I think you just have to embrace both. That just makes me who I am. Alright. You just gave me the anti-pitch. You said, you shouldn't try my app. It pulls analytics from a YouTube channel using the data API and then put them into the context of an AI model and then spits out a strategic sounding stop. Why would you pitch that? Here's how I would pitch that. Okay? I would say new content creators, when looking at analytics, don't usually understand what they mean and not know what to do next to improve their growth. So your app can help them by giving them a very simple instruction of what's the next step to do to increase their number of subscribers. And it does this by hooking into the creator's account analytics and pulling out the data and then using AI to analyze and give the content creator exactly what they need to do for the next step. Never ever deny yourself. I used to do this all the time, but never do that. You miss all the shots you don't take. Be the biggest advocate for yourself. I didn't realize that asparagus is so chewy. So Mike says build some agentic pipeline that does better structure extraction. Yeah. What's the use case? Give me like a real use case. What would you use it for? Oh, you know what I should do? I got an idea. So Gemini's new model, right? What was it called? Gemini 2.5 Flash image. I want to vibe code an app, maybe an open source app that I can use to put decorations in my new space. I know there's a lot of things you can do with the prompt. There's like also reasoning part of that model to help with the prompt. It has some sort of like built-in control net as well, where it has persistent objects. So when you regenerate an image and you change one part of it, the other parts don't change, which is quite great. Tenet says you know how to create LLMs, but you might not be aware of the applications across various sectors. Unlike Microsoft broad platform launch, a similar approach has not been taken with AI. I wonder if you can clarify what that means. That's a pretty loaded statement there. I'm not sure if I can understand what you mean. Oh, I think what you meant is like how Google, like when they launched their Gemini models, it's like available in like the entire G Suite workspace apps, right? Like you got it in Drive, you got it in Gmail, all that. So once you have the LLM, your entire suite of applications like improve. Yeah, I agree with that. Not saying that anybody loves Microsoft's products more, but on paper, it does make it more compelling for every single little app that they have. You can make it return multiple image responses per input prompt. Interesting. Tell me more. Have you tried the new Gemini 2.5 Flash image model? Because I really want to try it and build something cool. Talking about like the project that we were working on the past week, I added browser base and stagehand. It just doesn't work really well. Like it'll just be like hung up on a website for no reason. So it makes me wonder, like, is this browser agent thing like not as good as I thought they were gonna be? I thought they could just take actions and stuff, but they do. But like it's just, first of all, the latency is incredibly high when I tested it, and second, it's like fails all the time. It's just like failed to like take the next step essentially. And I'm using OpenAI's computer use model. Mike says, I would want to avoid any vector database part of storing embedding for larger docs and do it through agentic way where agent can decide run tools to get structured extracted data. Yeah, this is what we talked about last time, isn't it? I'm just trying to figure out a use case and then we can build around that. We as builders, we like to focus on the technology, but the world does not care unless we solve a real problem. So we gotta start with the problem. Me, I spend like at least 2 nights going on Wayfair trying to figure out what furniture is to buy. And why are furniture important to me now? It's never been important to me in the past. But I want to turn my living room into like a studio, like a podcast studio essentially. I want it to look a certain way. It's like, I don't know the words for it yet because I'm really new in this space, but I want it to look very nature friendly with like nothing that looks artificial, you know? Everything looks like, you know, it's wood and it's like greens, it's like plants and stuff like that. Something you would see on like glimpses of that in like a interview with somebody from Anthropic at their office space. Or recently Paul Graham tweeted a photo that he took while he was visiting OpenAI's office, which I'm very lucky to go to in October. And I want that kind of vibe where it's like a spa hotel, essentially. Like, you see that and you're like, oh, it feels like it's not artificial. Like, everything feels wood.
everything feels nice. And that'll be my background. And then my plan is to every week just bring guests over. What we're gonna do first is we're actually gonna go grab coffee at this coffee shop that is like 5 minutes away. So I'm gonna move very close to my favorite coffee shop in the city. So every time I have a guest, I'll bring them to the coffee shop. We'll chat for like half an hour, and get to know each other, so they can loosen up, and then we actually go on camera and talk about like stuff after. And every week I'll just bang out an episode. Um, I'll send you guys that when that's available. But I'm planning on interviewing people who I admire, essentially. Could be older people, could be younger people, all kinds of people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Um. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. My apologies. I did coding and I got to hang out with you guys. And next time we can start building a new project, and we'll um use Gemini 2.5 Flash. Um, Maybe we'll do like clothing try-ons or something like that. I mean, that'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I had a run this morning, and I think that really helped clear my mind, set the day right. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna go on a walk with my friend as well. I used to not do this. I used to just wake up and then just start sitting down and just start working. But yeah, sometimes it's like how Navy SEALs would say, slow is fast. And then I forgot what the second half was, but you get the point. Anyways, I will see you guys same times tomorrow. I promise I'll show up. And they will talk about cloud code as well, because that's actually what I'm supposed to talk about. But yeah, until then, I will see y'all either on my Discord or somewhere else. Yeah. Take care, guys. See y'all later.